Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you a best of 7 between WhiteRa and Liquid TLO. We are starting things off on Antiga Shipyards. It is ZVP, however, you can't really think of it as ZVP because both of these players do not obey the meta one bit. WhiteRa's builds are out of this world. They are so creative, it's almost like he got them straight from Ire. He then uses those creative builds to make some special tactics and force his opponent to play a game that he is not familiar with. Such as on Shakur's Plateau, WhiteRa created the Carrier Rush, where he humiliated many Zergs with that build, making Zergs lose their carriers. It's like WTF, mate. Also, WhiteRa was the inventor of any Warp Prism play. He was the first Protoss to actually incorporate Warp Prisms in play, and he used them on all 3 matchups to great use. And TLO, well, he doesn't play like many Zergs. He uses kind of standard builds, however, he executes them and differently. Like, he doesn't do the 12-minute max out on Roaches stuff. Instead, he gets Roaches, gets Niduses, and attacks at multiple locations at once. TLO is always about harassment, always about being everywhere on the map at once, and always spreading that creep. He is all about those small mechanics, trying to play as fast as he possibly can and just outplay his opponent. Right now, you see his drone going behind the mineral line. It looks like he wants to take a hatch first, but if the drone left when he is on this middle line, WhiteRa saw it with the probe, then he would be able to get it blocked. Since TLO is hiding, he can go out until the right moment and ensure he gets that hatch first. And now TLO is saying, hey, WhiteRa, it's your move. I went for a hatch first, however, WhiteRa, he is no scared of hatch first. He enjoys when players go hatch first. He has a lot of builds to just beat it. He can go cannon rush, he can go with a double gateway proxy. However, it looks like WhiteRa is going to be going with a Nexus first and say, hey TLO, the move's back on you. I am playing greedy as well. Both players right now cutting corners. WhiteRa delaying the forge just a little bit and is actually going to be going for 2 pylons before he builds that forge, definitely delaying it a long time. However, he can see the pull timing, so he knows it is not that risky. Just taunting TLO, he says, come attack me, I'll get my defenses up as you move across the map, take you surprise, and since you built units, I come out ahead. That is what these players are trying to do right now. They're just cutting as many corners as possible, waiting for their opponent to make the first move. TLO's like, okay, WhiteRa, you haven't built any pylons. You're not cannon rushing me. You saw I went for a hatch first. What are you doing? So he sends out a drone scout, not taking this third quite yet, because he has no idea what WhiteRa is doing. WhiteRa right now did take both of his gases, does have a gateway up. He is not getting a forge, cutting yet another corner. He is using the knowledge of saying, hey, you want to go on 3 bases. I'm going to cut so many corners, you don't want to go on 3 bases. You're going to want to attack me. And definitely a very interesting move by WhiteRa, cutting down his defenses, speeding up his build, because now his warp gates can probably finish around 6:30, 6:45, and really catch TLO off good. Meanwhile, the 1 probe is sitting here just blocking the 3rd base or waiting for any attempt to be taken, and WhiteRa still not getting a forge. Going to be going with another gateway, so he's going to be able to put on some zealot pressure if TLO decides to take the 3rd base. Going to boost about 5 zealots out, move across the map, and cancel the 3rd base. That is most likely what WhiteRa is doing. TLO does see that 2nd gate. Will he end up deciding to go for 3rd base or not? These Lings running around looking for any forward pylons. But again, this opening of the game was very interesting. Both players trying to make one another attack them. And now WhiteRa is moving out with only a zealot and a probe. Not too much damage can be done. And TLO starting that creep spread right now. Does have 3 queens out, laid 1 tumor. And WhiteRa going up here, going to see no 3rd base just yet. And now he's going to be going down to attack TLO's natural, but a drone is coming in. The probe is going to go try to block this 1 hatch. The drone doing some jukes, going to try to get it off, and no, he doesn't. So he is just going to go into an extractor, and the zealot is going to be trying to take that out, but that is a lot of HP. 2 Lings are going down. Those 2 Lings can't really do all that much. The hope is to take out this 1 probe, which they will end up doing. Now the zealot is chasing the Ling back, which will allow TLO to now take that 1 hatch. The zealot's like, oh my god, nice move, little drone, nice move. But we do have a Stalker moving across the map, and this Stalker can do quite a bit of damage because we don't have speed started for TLO. However, that is a lot of Lings, and kiting will be risky. Just going to pick off a few Lings. And now you got to keep in mind that WhiteRa did go for those double gases very early. TLO does see these two gases right here, but what does early gas mean? It means some type of tech, and TLO did scout those double gases early on with the drone scout. And WhiteRa is ending up going with a double Stargate. TLO, though, started his Evo chamber now. Hasn't seen the double Stargate, but he sees 4 gases, and most importantly, he saw these gases really early. I'm going to be guessing there's about 1,000 gas mined, and going into this, it looks like around 900 gas mines, so not too far off. TLO, if he pokes up the ramp, all he will see is a Stalker and a Sentry, and of course the Warpgate research, and now he's going to see that Warpgates is researching. Subnext core is still going on, so he knows that +1 air is started, but TLO, it doesn't look like he has gone up the ramp at all, so he isn't going to use any of that knowledge to his advantage. However, he is getting Spore Crawlers up at the third base because right now WhiteRa could either go for a DT or Stargate play. That would be the most common things out of all this early gas that WhiteRa is doing. Also, he could do some type of weird DT into Archon, but if there's anything about DTs, you need Spore Crawlers. So TLO is getting one up at his third base. Is he going around any other base? Getting a Roach Warren right now and going up to a lair, just about done the lair. The speed has finished. And we do have Void Rays going across the map. TLO does see that with this one Ling positioned right here. And the Spore Crawler going to go to work on that one Void. Void taking some damage. Now the Queen is under fire. Lift up does go on the Queen. They're attacking the Queen. That is not lifted up. The Spore Crawler hitting that one Void Ray. This one Void Ray is going to be pulled back. 4 HP left on it. Now the Phoenix also goes back with 9 HP. WhiteRa going to be falling back, not taking a single loss there, but I don't think he really killed anything. TLO canceling the one Spore Crawler that took damage and is rebuilding it. That is done now. Very nice move by TLO. Meanwhile, these Lings are taking out these destructible rocks, and the one Overlord does fall. WhiteRa going to be going in to do a little bit of damage at this one main base, finding a place where there are no Spore Crawlers. However, TLO building nothing but Queens and Void Rays because he knows that WhiteRa went for a double Stargate. If you go for a double Stargate, you're going to have no ground attack force. So just Queens are fine for defense because they do well against air units. And, well, you can drone up as hard as you want because Lings, Roaches, and that stuff aren't going to do a thing for you. Meanwhile, WhiteRa going for a Robotics Bay. Could go up to a Colossus, or he could do Warp Prisms. We will find out what his choice is. Getting an Immortal right now. Void Ray is trying to take out this one gas. Gonna switch over to the Queens. One Queen does fall. Nice micro on the Void Ray back again when it's out of shields. Good transfuse by TLO, but the Queen still falls. And this one Void Ray ran out of shields that was at full HP and pulled it back immediately. Very nice job right now from WhiteRa. Meanwhile, we do have a few Zealots warped in. +1 has started for WhiteRa. TLO is getting Infestors out right now. This one Overlord is going to be going down. The Phoenix now just picking off Overlords. Going into the world count, it is 66 to 57. Infestor is coming. Doesn't actually have enough energy to do. Fungal Growth does go down. That is a failure of an Infestor coming out ahead of schedule. Pathogen Glance finishing the second he finishes, so he doesn't have that extra energy. And then gets picked up by Phoenixes, so he can't ever fungal. Going into the Workers killed, it is only 6 drones dead. TLO handling that very well. We do have TLO finding out the fourth base, or the third base, I mean, is just now starting, going to send in Lings to try to delay that. No force fields from those sentries. That is at least 5 force fields that WhiteRa just ignored. TLO does get to kill a few extra units and now sees the timing of this fourth base, but those Zealots are going to put an end to those Lings. Now the Phoenix want to go back in, do a little bit more damage, but you can see 21 HP, 27 HP. The Phoenix, very, very low. A Fungal Growth will end their lives. Overlords huddled in the mineral line. Lings and Infestors moving out to try to cancel this 1/4 base. WhiteRa does have Voids on this watchtower, so he's going to see these Lings come, kill a few of them, and now get his Void Rays out of the way, but is leaving one in. Infested Terrans are coming down, and a Fungal Growth does go on that Void Ray, and it will be falling very shortly to these Infested Terrans. Meanwhile, WhiteRa getting a few cannons to help defend this third base. Going into his army supply, he is at 37, TLO is at 51, and it looks like TLO is going in to attack. But his Infestors don't really have that much energy, so his army supply is a lie. Has a lot of useless Infestors. You can see right here, these 3 cannot even fungal. All they can do is shoot 1 Infested Terran. This one can shoot 2 Infested Terrans, but not fungal. So TLO gonna decide to just try to take out this one forge, slow down the upgrades from WhiteRa, get what damage he can, but now his infestors are gonna be absolutely useless. Lings want to go run by. WhiteRa does have a zealot, gonna block it off with pylons, and now TLO is going to be retreating. No observer with the army, so these infestors do get away. Very lucky for TLO. That would have been a huge, huge loss. Does have 2 back here. And now TLO going to be going to run into the main. Those Infestitans did take out the forge. And there's Lings taking out a handful of probes. Going up to that TLO, now killing 7 probes. WhiteRa has only killed 6 drones. So somehow TLO has just killed more workers than WhiteRa with his Stargate opening. However, keep in mind, WhiteRa did kill Queens and Overlords. Going into this loss tab, you can see though that WhiteRa has lost more than TLO, and TLO going up on 5 bases right now, double expanding. Looks like a Ling did fall. We do have a Spire and an Ultralisk Cavern being built by TLO. TLO ahead on upgrades is at 1-1 while WhiteRa is at 1-0 because TLO did snipe the Forge, delaying that upgrade, and now WhiteRa going to be walling off his 3rd base, so he only has 1 entrance to worry about, and that is very good when you're playing against someone like TLO. And the probe just got trapped. Oh man, it sucks to be that guy. And the cannons will most likely end his poor life. We do have the Phoenix now going to be coming in. We'll see this 4th base up because WhiteRa hasn't seen the gold base. Meanwhile, TLO has a lot of Lings right there just waiting to pounce on his opponent when he tries to take a 4th base. And those Phoenix going to come in, get a few more drone kills, try to even that up. But the Infestors do come, get a beautiful fungal off. The Phoenix still going to lift up drones, try to get as many as they can before they do meet the unfortunate demise. We do have the Void Ray now moving across the map. TLO has a Ling right here, so he may get a head start on this Void. Yes, he does. He sees the Void Ray coming in to this 3rd base, and those Infestors not reacting, going to be going back to the middle, which means this Void Ray may be able to take out the 4th base of TLO. Observer is now out on the field, going to try to find where the units are. May end up seeing all of these Lings. And Observer is going to, not see those Lings. TLO putting Spine Claws at the edge of his creep. Very nice move. That means when WhiteRa decides to move out, he's going to be delayed once he gets to the edge of TLO's creep, allowing TLO to decide, do I want to go attack your base, force WhiteRa to pull back, and, well, then the creep does stay alive. Or he can set up for a position and engage WhiteRa on the tip of his creep and keep all the creep back here alive, because those tumors are very vital to a Zerg's existence. TLO also has a few Ultras out, getting that chitinous plating now, just fishing, also +3 attack, almost done. Hasn't started his +3 ground armor yet, but those Ultras are going to be fully upgraded. And WhiteRa still just at 1-1, falling behind. He has started 2-2. Handful of Zealots are going down to the space, but there are Infestors waiting for them. And doesn't get a fungal off, even though he had enough energy to. And because he didn't, now the Lings have to run all the way down here, and that means the Zealots will be able to take out this 1 base. However, TLO getting up a base in the top right corner, so not going to care too much that that 1 hatch did get sniped. Is still going to be on 5 bases. WhiteRa now has a Warp Prism moving on out, but there is a Ling going out to go. No, he is on patrol. He is pulling back. So this 1 Warp Prism will be getting into TLO's main, it looks like, undetected. And that can do a lot of damage. WhiteRa has a lot of Void Rays out, getting carriers, motherships right now, also getting a Templar Archives. Warp Prism going to be going down the southern edge of the map, and will this Larva actually see it? No, it will not. That would have been funny if the Larva did spot the Warp Prism, but because it didn't, does get in this main base undetected, and these Queens are in danger right now. At the same time, a Zealot is going up to see this 5th base, but there are drones going to be trying to go up there. That's not going to help too much. Baneling's Nest is being taken out, and now the Queens have pulled back. They have a lot of energy, going to get some transfuses off. And now there's Zealots going down on those Queens, but so many transfuses come out of TLO, keeping all those Queens alive. Now the Lings can come and take out those Zealots. Very nice defend by TLO, but at the same time, WhiteRa is moving out across the map with a lot of Void Rays going into this unit tab. TLO only has 4 Corruptors, so if these Void Rays stay split up, they will easily kill all the Corruptors, and there'll be no anti-air besides Infestors for TLO. Infestors are good anti-air, but if the Void Rays stay split up, it's not effective use of energy to kill off Void Rays one by one. However, they are clumped up and will all get fungal growth. Beautiful move by TLO. Those Broodlords engaging on the side. Mothership now getting into this army. We do have another fungal on all the Voidoids, keeping them chain fungled. Voidoids target the broods individually, which means they all clump up. This is all in terms of one fungal. Infested Terrans going down. TLO is going to be cleaning this up. What a huge loss for WhiteRa, dropping from 130 supply to 110 and one fungal. Another fungal takes them down to 104. And this Mothership will be taken out by those Infested Terrans. More carriers are on the way, though. And it looks like WhiteRa is going into play Sky Toss right now. Will Carrier Archon, will that be enough to take out TLO? Those Broodlords stayed alive, did not really go down. Infestors getting so many kills off on those Voidoids, clumping them up, trying to take out the Broodlords. Just was the end of them. Lings are at 3-3 against these Zealots at 2-2. Who will win? It looks like the Zealots may have more than enough, but more Lings do come in. TLO will easily take out all of these Zealots at the same time, getting some Spine Claws over at this one base. Also taking a base up here that had some damage done to it, oddly enough. Maybe that was that one Zealot that did walk around. Observer just sitting right here. The gold base did fall, but TLO transfers all his drones over to the top right base, so not losing all that much mining time. He has lost 32 drones throughout this game while killing off 7 probes. However, TLO is at 143 supply to WhiteRa's 136, so somehow supplies still look relatively even. That one pylon will be taken out because they are trapping the Archons in, and that will not supply cap WhiteRa. WhiteRa well above 200 supply, and carriers on the way, and they are unprotected right now. We do have a pylon being built. Nothing in that one area. Carriers are at 1-0. The Corruptors are at 0-1. That one carrier does get fungled and taken out. That poor carrier. Free kill right now by TLO on a carrier. That is absolutely huge. But WhiteRa still somehow ahead in the supply. I have no clue how WhiteRa is managing to stay ahead in supply, behind on bases, and, well, also lost more than TLO. So WhiteRa somehow being efficient with his units, or maybe just having more workers than TLO. TLO losing a lot, not rebuilding fully. He's only got 59 drones to saturate 3 bases, and that is not really that many. He is not efficiently mining. You can see TLO, well, he doesn't need gas, so that's why these geysers aren't mining, but somewhere there should be idle drones or just bad saturation, or maybe just doesn't have enough. He only has 60 drones out on the map, and that could, well, only 60 drones, that is good. It was around 50, and that was when it was bad. But it looks like TLO has recovered. We'll be getting those minerals shortly. WhiteRa, though, does max out before TLO. Normally it's the Zerg player that maxes out instantly, and these Archons are going to demolish the Lings. But WhiteRa doesn't, TLO doesn't have that many Lings. Only 15 Lings out. Mainly just Infestors, Queens, and Broodlords. And those Queens have a lot of transfuse. It's going to take a lot to kill anything with all the transfuse. And WhiteRa's army doesn't have the highest burst, but it does have AoE damage to make those Queens work extra hard. Could use a few Templars, which he does have. He has 2 Templars back here to feed back the Queens and Infestors. May want a few more, because I think he's just thinking he's dealing with Infestors, not all the Queens. And those Zealots are going to get fungled. And everything is fungled. There's Corruptors going to work on that one Mothership. Mothership goes down very quickly. And there's Queens going to be transfusing themselves, staying alive. Broodlords off in the back, being, well, very durable and not taking any damage at all. All the Archons have been taken out. Maybe they're in this one vortex. No, only one Archon in the vortex. There's no more anti-air left for WhiteRa besides this one Archon, but he will go down very quickly. It looks like these Broodlords are more than enough to take everything out, and yet again, TLO keeping his Broodlords alive. Archon is going to go under, but WhiteRa does throw the GG. Well played. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing SC2 gears after these games. It is a Bo7, so I got a lot to cast. I'm starting late because I think I overclocked too much, and my computer crashed in the middle of casting this game, which sucked massively. And by crashed, I mean my hard drive also died. So I'm no longer overclocked, which means there may be slight lag in these battles. I'm going to be taking a look at that. I may get a better power supply. I don't know if 850 watts is enough. I thought it would be. I only have one graphics card, but that is a GTX 580, which is a power fiend. So maybe I need to get trade my power supply in for like 1,000 watts because my computer did crash at a big battle. It was the battle like in the middle of the map. It crashed twice, which sucked. And then I had to reinstall Windows, and because of that, I lost about 4 hours in my day between the games crashing, trying to fix it, hard drive crashing, reinstalling Windows, getting all my apps back up, and getting my sound settings back in order. So hopefully it's all good. I think I did fix kind of the popping on my microphone. It shouldn't do it as much. It may still do it, unfortunately. But yeah, we will be going into game number 2. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the cast, and hopefully this is decent quality. Please be decent quality, because again, all my settings got wiped. See you in